Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Charity and Zakat and Sadaqah, charity in all its forms, is a major aspect of Islam. It purifies a person's wealth. It's also a source of protection for that wealth. Typically, a person will experience that if they give their zakat regularly and their income is pure and permissible, then there will be barakah in their wealth. It will increase. In fact, if we look at the derivation of the word zakat, one of its meanings is numu. It means to increase. Another meaning is purification. So, although outwardly the spending of zakat appears to minutely decrease the wealth, in real terms Allah Azza wa Jal places so much barakah and means of increase that a person experiences this. A person who regularly gives their zakat will experience an increase in their wealth, will experience barakah in their wealth. So there are different types of charity in Islam. There is the zakat, as we're mentioning. This is the obligatory charity which must be given to those who are most deserving of it, and their categories are specified in Islam. It's 1/40 of a person's property or money, which is 2.5%. And if it's crops, then it's ushur or nisf ushur. It's 1/10 of crops which are irrigated naturally by rainfall, and it's 1/20 of those crops which are irrigated manually or artificially. And then there's an entire system of calculation for livestock, for a person who might be in possession of animals such as cows, goats, sheep, camels, etc. So these are all forms of the obligatory zakat, which is paid on an annual basis based on the lunar calendar. Then there is the zakat of the day of Eid, Sadaqatul-Fitr, or fitrana as it's often referred to in the Asian community, is also known as Zakatul-Fitr. It's also an obligation on the believer. The difference between zakat and the Sadaqatul-Fitr is that for zakat to become compulsory, you need to have been in possession of a certain minimum amount of wealth for the duration of 1 year. If you had it at the beginning of the year and at the end of the year, then the ups and downs in the middle of the year will not be counted. But by and large, it's the passage of a year which necessitates zakat, the annual zakat. But for fitrana, for Sadaqatul-Fitr or Zakatul-Fitr as it's called, you only need to be in possession of that wealth for that day. This would mean that somebody who's not a minor, not a child, if somebody is given so much in Eid money as a gift, for example, from parents and family for the day, which is only several £100, they would have to then give their Sadaqatul-Fitr on that day. So this is something which applies to everybody, and it's something we need to pay attention towards. Ideally, the fitrana, the Sadaqatul-Fitr, should reach the recipient before the Salah, the Eid Salah. And that's why it's quite possible, it's perfectly permissible for you to pay your Sadaqatul-Fitr in advance during Ramadan, so that people who don't have the comforts that Allah has blessed us with can also enjoy their Eid. And essentially, in Hanafi fiqh, you can pay money, but the actual proper form of Sadaqatul-Fitr is grain and food, dates and wheat or barley or raisins. It's actually foodstuff, so that people can eat, people who don't have that provision. And when we send money, the purpose is that people can buy food with it. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us tawfiq to pay attention to the detail of the teachings of Islam. And the recommendation is that if people aren't clear about either zakat or fitrana, then they need to attend one of our local halaqas or consult with a local imam, so that they can be clear about how much they are due.